Last tour of the trip, guys.
Yes. Bye-bye, Hawaii.
That's it.
Welcome to Shaka Guide's Poipu and Koloa driving tour.
So we're going to Poipu.
Great time together on this half-day tour here on South Kauai. Oh, look to your right. This is the Prince Kuhio Park. Instead of being a king, Prince Kuhio managed to get elected as a U.S. Senator.
Wow.
One of his greatest concerns was the welfare of his people, and he introduced and helped pass a bill to redistribute over 200,000 acres of land back to the Hawaiian people. Thanks to him, there is land on every island that Hawaiians still homestead, even to this day. For his efforts to maintain the land and dignity of his people, Prince Kuhio will always be remembered as Keali'i Maka'ainana, or Prince of the People. Tell you the interesting story about Spouting Horn.
Okay.
Called Puhi by the ancient Hawaiians, Spouting Horn is a geyser-like blowhole when the ocean water rushes underneath the lava rocks. It shoots up through the opening, spraying salt water into the air. Each large wave creates another spray. Sometimes they reach 50 feet in the air.
Wow.
But many people say that they also hear this kind of low roaring sound coming from the blowhole. Almost as if a monster or a giant sea creature is breathing or hissing through the hole. So where does that sound come from?
I don't hear the sound.
Well, according to legend, the coastline in this area used to be guarded by a giant lizard, or mo'o. This lizard would attack and eat anybody who came close to its territory.
Oh my God.
And one day, a young man named Liko went swimming here, and the lizard spotted the young man and began chasing him. Seeing the monster coming his way, Liko ran for his life and dove into the underwater sea cave. The lizard followed him and slithered down the blowhole. But the lizard was too big, and he became stuck in the narrow chimney. And to this day, the giant lizard is still stuck there. So when the Spouting Horn shoots water into the air, well, you can sometimes hear the low roar of the lizard, or mo'o. Kind of a neat legend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if you're curious to know where the roaring sound actually comes from, it's really caused by the pressurized air forced through the cracks in the rock. That's not nearly as much fun, is it? I think the giant lizard version of the story is way better, don't you?
Yep.
before the end of the road, pull over to the small grassy area. You'll see a tiny sign in the distance that says, "No entry, archaeological area." What makes this site unique and sacred is that it also has the remains of a heiau. A heiau is a religious temple where priests lived and performed religious rites. Sometimes even human sacrifice. This heiau is a local secret, and for sure, you won't find it in any guidebook. So, please, show your respect by not going past the signs, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
This site is for viewing only from the grass.
Oh, maybe.
The Kaneoluma Cultural Complex is on your left. You'll recognize it by the tall tiki statues. The remnants of an ancient village has been discovered. The effort to restore this complex has been going on for more than 10 years.
Oh, I
Among
heard
the
about
discoveries
this.
are structures dating back to the 15th century. Oh, and by the way, are you old enough to remember a movie called 6 Days and 7 Nights?
Yeah.
Well, the scene where Harrison Ford and Anne Hesh jumped off after kissing was actually filmed right here at this cliff.
Oh, wow.
But hey, okay, you like smooch, no worries, huh?
Ano ba tayo?
But please, no cliff
guys
jumping over here, okay?
Okay, we're on our way to the cave, and Alex smells horses. It's supposed to be about a half-mile up. Ugh, yeah, I smell the horses as well.
Please don't get in my shoes.
Cave ceiling eventually collapsed, turning it into a giant sinkhole and partially covered cave. But this is not just your average run-of-the-mill sinkhole. Oh no. This Makawahi Cave is the richest fossil site in all of Hawaii.
Okay, we're on our way. Executive decision, we're sticking with the foot trail. It's more solid. It doesn't smell like horses. I think we made the right call. I don't know, it might be a little bit further along, but it's okay.
This feels right. Oh, shoot. You're kidding me. Let's go right. Right.
Yeah, go right.
Right, right.
I hope.
I hope. I hope.
Ooh, the shade feels nice. Day 22, still trying to find the cave.
No, it's day 2.
Okay.
That's funny.
Definitely don't want to fall in here.
Or drink the water. Remember, Daddy, at nighttime we saw humongous frogs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They were like this big.
Just by yourself, I'm gonna go sleep.
Look,
But-
it's this cave.
What's it all about the adventure?
Oh yeah, definitely. This is definitely the cave here.
Yeah, definitely the way. Donate.
All right, we found it. Or Uncle Jojo found it.
Kind of. We've made it! Okay, it's open. Stop. It's open.
Is that what they're saying? We have to crawl?
Is it?
This very low entrance?
Yeah.
Are we doing it?
Phone. There's phone.
I guess. What does it say? No drones.
Yeah.
How is it? We could do it. We could try.
Good?
We doing this?
Turn on your flashlight. Doing it.
I'm good now. Thanks.
Whoa.
That's cool.
All right. The acoustics in here are great. Uncle Johnny,
This is great.
time for a performance.
This is so cool. This place is super cool. Oh yeah.
People gotta crawl through that.
You'd be like,
We found this in there. This is exactly how it looked when it went in. It was called Kiahikuni. He was a shaman, and we found these 9 little things that look like post holes over here. Kiahikuni would actually sit on a shelf over here. He'd light a small fire on a shelf. He'd push the fire off into the wet sand. The smoke would come up, and he'd tell the future by looking through the smoke. So the name of the cavern is Maka for eye and Uwahi for smoke. This is his smoky eye cavern. You can see all the smoke between these. These are called flowstone draperies. This up here is called popcorn. What happens here is if there's 100% humidity and the wind's blowing, the wind blows the water off and we get this popcorn instead of this stalactite like this. Now back here, we still have this cavern because of what's living back in here. This is very, very rare.
Oh, it's nice and cool back here.
This, to give you an idea, this is a blow up of that spider. You can see there's no eyes whatsoever in there. We now have an arachnologist who puts on a hazmat suit, crawls back in there. She does it twice a month. There are 11 of the spiders in the world and they're all back in there.
Wow.
Is that good enough?
That was awesome. You like that, Alex? Loved it.
But what exactly is a fish pond, you might well ask? Well, a Hawaiian fish pond is a masterpiece of engineering that was invented by the ancient Hawaiians. Baby fish would come in from the river through a narrow gate to graze on the algae in the pond. But eventually they would grow too big to swim out. The fish pond is ingenious, and it's a much better way to preserve fish than a refrigerator. Because, well, it ensured a ready supply of fresh, live fish all year round.
It's a koi.
Now, most fish ponds are located next to the ocean, but this particular fish pond is unique because it's inland and next to a river.
We need an outro. Do I give an outro? Say bye, Stephanie. Tour's over. Peppers only.